name is Natasha Williams, and I help frustrated men and women to live their life with purpose and to be recognized for their worth. And what I want to discuss with you today is anger. Now, anger is a natural human emotion, just like fear, sadness, pride, apathy, lust, and we might go through different emotional states on a daily basis. And what actually happens is that the emotional states are there as a guidance system. Now, what do I mean by that? If you feel anger, what does anger tell you? It tells you that somebody did something wrong to you. You have a perceived injustice. You feel done in, you feel maybe frustrated, and there's different levels of anger. There might be rage, there might be minor irritation, there might be frustration. But it's something that's not working, something that's being done to you. Now, I just want to discuss how we actually store emotions in the body. Now, you have a physical body, you have a brain that works on thoughts, and you have a spiritual body that guides you via impulses, creative ideas, and basically gives life and brings opportunities your way. Now, your mind is designed to keep giving you thoughts. You can't stop your thoughts, they just keep coming. And your body has feelings. Your body stores the emotions that are linked to the thoughts. And the problem is that we react to the emotional state thinking that we're having that emotion, therefore we need to respond to it. But if you look deeper and you look at anger itself, anger is actually a cover-up for fear. Now, if somebody is experiencing fear at a deep, deep soul level, they might be actually physically afraid of their very existence. And so they would rather feel anger, which is a slightly higher energy vibration, so that they don't have to feel that abject terror that comes with living in this human physical existence, where you're not sure how you're even going to survive on a day-to-day basis. Now, what happens is people that grow up in a family or a dysfunctional family where there is a lot of fear that has been instilled in somebody, they try and minimize the fear by bringing the anger about, because anger actually gives you the energy to act on something, to stand up against something and say, I'm not going to take this anymore. The problem with anger is when you get stuck in it. And just like any emotion, if you get stuck in grief, if you get stuck in apathy, if you get stuck in shame or guilt, you are stuck. Now, your body, if you were to actually feel the emotion, your body would actually, let's say you had a dynamite cord and you ran that dynamite, you lit the dynamite on the one end and you allowed it to fully burn out, it would probably last only about 20 minutes, and then you would never experience anger to that level again. You might have it for a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds, but it will be gone because you realize that it's just your body's signaling system that something is wrong. So rather than attaching onto the anger and agreeing with it, allow it to run its course and then look at what is it that you perceived somebody did to you. So let's say a taxi cut you off in traffic and you experience anger. Why? Because you obey the rules of the road and they are not, and therefore you perceive that they are not respecting your space, your independence and your individuality, or your right to also be on the road. But if you look at it from the other person's perspective, maybe they are so caught up in their own life, they're not even aware that you are on the road. It's not about you, it's about them. And you have decided, because you are the driver that's being held against because they cut you off, you've decided they've got it in for you and you need to teach them a lesson. You build on that anger, and when you add anger to anger, you actually build a bigger fire. And then it could land up being road rage, you could land up beating each other up, or you could end up shouting at each other and swearing and even causing an accident. Where if you realize that that other person is having their own unique experience, then you are able to look at it and say, you know what, I can either allow myself to take this anger and I can carry it for them, or I can give it back to them. There's a famous story about a Buddhist monk who had a lot of followers. A lot of people came to visit him. And one day a really angry man came and said, I want to be your follower. And the monk said, no thanks. And all he did was raise his hand and say, no thanks. And the man got more and more angry, and he said, well, I insist, you've got all these followers, I want to be a follower too. And the monk said, no thanks. And after the man eventually left, one of his other followers said, well, what actually happened? Why did you say no thanks? And the monk said, every person that comes into my space or into your space is bringing a gift, and his gift is anger, and I didn't want to take it on, so I said no thanks. So what you choose to do with somebody else's anger is somebody might pass it on to you. Now you're carrying it and you're burning the torch for them, and they don't have to anymore. They might even ask you, why are you still angry, when they've handed it to you. So you can just in your mind internally say no thanks. However, if you've decided that there is an injustice that's been done to you, so let's say this taxi's cut you off and it keeps happening, you need to look at why are you attracting it in your life. Because if everybody around you is angry, it's something inside you that you are projecting. It's an attitude of dissatisfaction that you have within yourself. So look, if you are upon closer examination, just look inside and ask yourself, what am I actually angry about? Am I angry because people are not supporting me? Am I angry because I am not being given validation? I'm angry because people are not respecting me? Then all of the answers that you have given, or the one answer that you've given, you need to look at where you're not giving yourself the validation. Where are you not allowing yourself to be given precedent? And when you do that, you're able to love yourself more, and then you have an air of loving around yourself, which you will then project out into the world, and you will receive love back. And it's amazing that when angry people come around into your space, it actually doesn't affect you anymore, where in the past it might have. So I hope this helps you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. But before you go, please like and subscribe to my channel, or share it with your friends and family. I have an amazing 16-day transformation program that you can join, which will help you really change your life and find that meaning and purpose in your life that has been eluding you all this time. Because to me, time is short, life is short, and there's no point living it when you're living it in misery. Have a good week.